Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Today, we've prepared 3 brand new stories for you, starting with an act of petty revenge as well as karma that the offender of our OP received. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Former coworker revenge. I work in software development. Back in the day, I used to work for a small web development company. The environment was nice, people were nice, the pay, not so much. And it was an hourly thing, so if I didn't work, I didn't eat. That was fine. After all, I was straight out of school, not many complaints. Then came Elliot, not his real name. I was there for his interview. It was for a project management position. Straight off the bat, I noticed that he was the type of person who would say anything to make people like them. It was a people skill. Not much of a warning sign, since we all do that in one way or another when we have to put food on our plates. It was that small suspicion, that vibe that he would also use such a skill to manipulate things in his favor. Again, just a suspicion. All in all, I gave my thumbs up as the rest of the others present, and he was hired. Elliot was nice to me at first, and again, I could see how he tried to fish for hints of my tastes, hobbies, etc., just to make an impression. I don't have a problem with that. It's just that it looked so forced. A few weeks later passed by, and Elliot got the hang of the company's dynamics. It was a small one, 15 to 20 people, so he quickly learned whose butts he had to kiss and whose to ignore or even diminish. His attitude towards me changed. At meetings, he would interrupt me during my participation. He would joke with the big bosses, but ignore or brush off anybody else. Also, he started hanging out and joking about a lot with the CEO. Whatevs. But it was Elliot's minor actions that irked me when combined. We had a couple of iPads laying around for testing, and whenever he needed one, instead of picking them up carefully, he would slide them to the border of the desk first, making a scratching noise that made my teeth grind. I thought of telling him, dude, don't scratch them, but I was too busy with deadlines and filling up my hours. He would also make big, noisy belching sounds. Like, really? Virtually no one else in the office does that, at least once every other day. And one day, I was talking. And granted, I have a soft way of talking, especially in professional situations. I try to think what I'm going to say, so I might speak slowly when I'm putting all my thoughts together into words. He decided to mock my way of talking by repeating everything I said. It just lasted a few seconds. A couple people chuckled, but I was thinking, what the F, man? What if it was a speech impediment? Finally, I was exhausted due to the amount of work, the low pay, and due to some personal issues out of my control. I could barely concentrate. I was dealing with a really demanding client, and anyway, let's say my performance wasn't the best. So one day, I get to the office, see Elliot walking by the hallway, and say hi to him. No response, just a quick glance, serious face, and continued his way. Okay, that was a first. Whatever. Half an hour later, I was laid off. Elliot knew what was going on. I'm quite sure he had something to do with it, and by behaving the way he did that last time, he showed me his true colors. Anyway, I end up finding another job at a small company, relieved, rent, food, etc., Because I was desperate to find something, I applied even for positions I knew were out of my reach, or so I thought. One day, I got an interview offer from a well-known tech company and got hired. More money, more benefits, a salary, as opposed to working hourly, and great perks. A dream come true. And the very petty revenge? I recently opened a LinkedIn account in order to help a friend, endorse him, etc. Eventually, one former coworker from that small company found me. He was cool. I added him to my contacts. I even endorsed a few of his very awesome skills. And later, many others from his same company requested to be added to my contacts, including mother effing Elliot. I noticed that in his request, the name of the company wasn't mentioned, which could potentially mean he's out of a job. I'll never know. I accepted all the requests. I'm sure he could see the notifications of almost all of our intersecting contacts being added by me. And I saved you for last, Elliot. I had a big smile clicking on your X delete request button. The fact that he was kissing up and kicking down is a very bad sign. I don't blame you for deleting the contact. What arrogance. And our second story. Double room it is. This isn't my story, but my sister's. She was working as a desk clerk in training at a big hotel in our state. One weekend, they were overbooked due to a combination of a new booking system and a massive semi-annual religious conference that happens in April and October. A couple shows up on Friday, and they were told about the snafu. You'd think someone in their 50s would know mistakes happen. But no, they kept yelling that they had a double room and that's what they were going to get. My sister's manager is there trying to get a word in edgewise, but they keep replying, double room. Eventually, she finds a way to excuse herself and speak with another group in line, a family with 2 kids about 10 years old. Speaking loud enough for the old couple to hear, I know you booked a double room, but there's been a problem. Instead, we'd like to take your double room and upgrade you to our presidential suite. It has 4 bedrooms, 2,000 square feet, 185.806 square meters, and an on-call 24-hour butler. Some other perks, the juice minibar was free. Can't give away free alcohol in my state, so hotels often had a juice version in addition. 1 meal a day for the party in the hotel restaurant, ran by a Michelin-starred chef, and a private lap pool. The family was ecstatic. My sister relayed that their original room was likely a cheap internet special and all they could afford. The new room and amenities they were offered was usually in the neighborhood of $1,500 a night. She took their basic room keys and had my sister show them where the private elevator that opened into their suite was. She overheard the older couple complaining as she left and got full details upon returning. They said that they should have been offered that room and tried to raise an even bigger stink than they were at first. I tried several times, but you declined to let me finish. Here, handing them the basic keys the family had, are your keys to the double room you wanted. Checkout's at 11. Can I assist you with anything else? They took their keys and stormed off. I mean, they got what they were asking for, both the room and the sweet justice. A few hours later, my sister laughed uncontrollably when she saw the butler bringing up free ice cream the size of a dinner plate to the room. Enjoy, kids. The family that got this room 100% shares this memory at every party they go to. I'm sure it made their whole month. Nice job, OP sister. And our last story. Awful former boss. Some context. The company I worked for was a small one with only 5 employees, myself included. Basically, we imported cheap stuff from China, rebrand, and resell them as our own. I was the graphic designer and customer service rep, responsible for everything that would appear online and in print, plus, well, customer service. The one who called was the sales rep, who, despite her job title, was mainly responsible for sourcing goods because she was fluent in Chinese and Cantonese. There was also the finance girl, aka boss's pet, and 2 other guys. The boss was a 50-something man who only ever worked in his dad's company before starting his own little business. The sales rep was such a capable woman, I didn't even know why she chose to work for Boss in the first place. She had some connections in China and used them to find amazing business for Boss, but Boss appreciated none of her work. Somehow she and the finance girl didn't get along, and Boss would find every chance to pick on her just to please his pet. Plus, Boss broke his promise about her quarterly bonus, so the sales rep was annoyed and decided to not bother working hard. One day, Boss got information about a prominent Chinese company and decided he wanted some business with them, so he sent sales rep to contact them. His plan was to buy some products and, if he was satisfied with the initial transaction, become a distributor or dealer of some sort. He said something like, "They should know we have good potential. No way they could turn us down because we're going to give them so much business," and gave sales rep a long list of what she should say to them in her emails. Sales rep shredded the list when Boss and finance girl weren't looking. Despite low morale, sales rep did a brilliant job if you ask me. Big companies like that usually don't bother dealing with small potatoes, and sales rep said they were cold to her at first, but she kept pushing and got a good quote, had a few video conferences with their rep on her off hours because they were in another time zone, and finally we were about to enter into a formal contract. Mind you, whatever sales rep did, she made sure she kept evidence that Boss knew and agreed because Boss already had a history of backstabbing us. The Chinese company, impressed with the sales rep, sent a rep over to sign the deal and to take a look at our company, which would mean they considered us a potential partner. The day sales rep was to meet with the rep, Boss told her to cancel it all because he felt that the quote was not good enough and the contract was not beneficial enough for him. Sales rep and I were like, WTF, totally. The rep had flown all the way here and Boss wanted to cancel everything last minute. Sales rep still met the rep, of course, but the meeting and the whole deal was utterly ruined, with boss picking on every word of the contract, trying to lowball and insulting the rep. After the rep went back, they sent a beautifully written email basically saying boss is an epic jerk and they want nothing to do with us ever. Boss blamed it all on sales rep, and sales rep quit shortly afterwards. About the same time, finance girl also quit because the boss's wife, one of the major shareholders, sued her for misappropriating company money, though rumor had it that boss had given her the money as a gift. Boss left it to me to hire replacements, and one of his requirements was that the new employees must be female under 25 years of age. That was age and gender discrimination right there, ladies and gentlemen. He was aware, so he wanted me to not put them in writing, but throw away any applications from male or older females. And when I did have some candidates for him, guess how he chose the new employees? He effing picked them by looks. He blatantly said, "I liked her eyes, she'll be the new sales," and stuff like this. I was interviewed and hired by his wife. Guess I wouldn't have a chance if he was in charge of hiring back then. Soon after that, I also quit. Word got to me a few months later that the company went bankrupt and closed. I'm so happy the business tanked. I hope you have a much better job. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.